Okay, yeah, we can go. We can move on to Al Hilal versus Al Sadd. Well, Al Sadd versus Al Hilal because
Yeah, I mean, Al Hilal getting 4 away goals over Al Sadd, who only managed to get the 1 goal just in that game. I mean, what a game that was! I saw quite a bit of that. I saw a sort of 20-minute highlight reel of that game. Yeah, I mean, both teams kind of set up in the same way. Both were playing in this sort of 4-2-3-1, but Al Sadd was a lot more compact. You could tell that right from the kickoff. And for most of the game, Al Sadd were very narrow in their shape. I think that's just from Xavi's influence of that short passing game, a lot of possession. Um, and they were up against an Al Hilal who were just playing a lot wider than them and were just constantly going past
yeah,
the
the
the, wing-
wing,
the
yeah.
wing backs. Yeah. So I think that was a really smart tactical move by Al Hilal to match on the formation, but just play slightly wider. You know, you could tell that it was really starting to frustrate Al Sadd, and the pressure was on, and temper started to boil as well. You know, there was some strange officiating, shall we say,
Hmm.
but there was also some really poor professionalism from the Al Sadd players as well. I mean, what did you think of it?
I think Al Sadd were just terrible. But there is when I was reading Xavi's interview after the match, and he said, I would categorize the game into two different categories, where before the red card, after the red card. He said before the red card we were good, and I agree with him. They were competing, uh, winning the 50-50 battles, um, aerial battles, everything looked very good for them. They scored not the most beautiful goal, a shitty goal from a corner kick, scored by Gomez, actually an own goal. By the way, does that mean Gomez had a hat trick?
Yeah, of a sort. Yeah, he got a hat
Not a
trick.
hat trick that you want to have, but I think
I don't know how many career hat tricks Gomez has had it. I think he got one at Swansea, so it must be like quite a few years. And was he at Fenerbahce or Galatasaray for a while as well? I'll have to check, but that must be his first hat trick in a long time.
well, yeah, he scored an own goal and two goal for his team.
Yeah,
But what was I gonna say? What do I think? I think yeah, that is the end of Al Sadd. There is a very very rare chance for them to. I would pretty much say it's impossible to beat Al Hilal. It's hard to beat Al Hilal anyway with a goal
yeah.
deficit like this. It's just I
That
don't
is a
see it.
mountain to climb. I mean, if Al Sadd come back, get to the final, that is one hell of a comeback story in footballing
It's
terms.
funny how we discussed in our quarterfinal reviews. We were discussing how what player would you take out of the Al Sadd team, which would have the most uh, negative impact on the
Mm,
ability of the team as a whole.
yeah,
And I mentioned Baghdad Benajat how effective he is in relation to the ability for them to score goals. He is suspended because he picked up a yellow card, and that was his second yellow. He's done in the second leg in Riyadh, and of course Abdullah Abdullah Hassan, if I'm correct, the guy
yeah.
who got, of course, the guy who got a red card is
Oh,
also not playing.
Abdel Karim
Abdul
Hassan.
Karim Hassan. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry. Too,
yeah. I mean, did you see that? Because that was about 35 minutes in. Did you see that?
I think it
The
was
card,
harsh,
the
fucking
reaction.
harsh. It was too harsh, dude. That guy.
Well, the initial idea for a yellow, I thought was slightly harsh, but the way that 4 or 5 of the players then gathered around the referee,
Yeah.
they shoved the referee, and then I'm not sure who it was, but one of the Al Sadd players grabbed the wrist
Baghdad. Yeah, it was Baghdad.
yeah, grabbed the wrist of the referee, trying to stop him from getting the
Yeah.
red card out of his pocket. I mean, that
And the
is
referee
just
pushed
your
one of the
head.
players. I saw that he
Yeah,
pushed.
but
He was.
like that is the referee should have been sent off. The second official should have then become the main referee for the match. You could easily have got 2 more
Does,
red
does
cards
that
out of
happen?
that
Does that
exchange.
happen? Can a referee get a red card?
Yeah, well, maybe I phrased that wrong, sorry, but referees can be removed for poor practice.
But yeah, he was
So
furious. That guy. But that
yeah, but
referee
that
is
that
famous for protecting the Saudi sides. Usually he does that. So I'm just saying.
yeah, but even so, I do feel that like
What is
the
fucking
reaction
guy's
of
name?
uh, the Al
Outside
Sadd
players, yeah.
team was just so over the top. I know you're in the semi final with the biggest competition on the continent, right? I get it, but keep your shit together, son. Do you know what I mean? You've got to sort that out. You need to just have your captain and maybe another big voice in the changing room standing in the way, stopping them from going to the referee.
Which
Like, no, 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 keep your head on, keep your head on. We're 35 minutes in. This isn't terrible. But instead, they all switched on the referee. They started to switch on each other.
they just lost the
And their
game,
head,
lost the game, lost their
yeah, and
minds.
they lost the game because they lost their heads,
Yeah.
to be fair. I mean, Al-Hilal were very good. They were using that width very well. Gomez, Giovinco, Al-Dassari, Al-Faraj.
Jovinko had an
They just
amazing
pressured,
game, yeah.
pressured. But if Al-Sadd had kept their heads on, they wouldn't have sat so deep. The defensive midfield would have protected the defence. A lot of those runs would have been offside. They just, yeah. So for me, they lost the game because they lost their heads.
But another question I will always ask myself is, how would you fucking pick up 2 yellow cards in 35 minutes? He didn't. He wasn't sent off directly. It was his second yellow. I mean, you gotta be a silly player to challenge in the middle of the ground for nothing. It's not like he was trying to stop a 1-on-1 or something dangerous. It was center of the field.
No,
Just relax, dude. So early in the game, I mean, he really costed his team, that guy, Abdul Karim.
yeah. And then after, like I say,
Hassan.
after that, they just didn't keep their shape very well. There was basically no defensive midfield. Their back four wasn't very good at staying, in a solid line to have an offside trap. They just sat way too deep. They still remained too compact. Yeah, they couldn't break out of their own half a lot. Yeah, it was. That must be a tough loss for Xavi.
But yeah, of course. But some of the goals they conceded also shouldn't have gone in, because they conceded.
Yeah.
I remember Gomez. A ball came in from the wing. He tapped it in. Two of those. A corner kick and Mohamed Al-Shalhoub. Yeah, also from the wings they were just keep getting the Al-Hilal strikers. They kept getting these assists to just tap the ball into the back of the net, and yeah, dude, it wasn't the friendliest of. Yeah, as I did mention, the wingers of Al-Hilal really had good games. They were all over the outside defense line. They just didn't know, they had too much space. If you look at the highlights, they were overlapping, and away we go. Just no one to stop you. Can we see?
I mean,
yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was going to say that I think this is it's clearly, for me at least, going to be Al-Hilal in the final. I think that's kind of answering what you were going to ask. I think Al-Hilal are certainly into the final here. I mean, it would take a
miracle.
It would take Xavi deviating from his usual game plan.
Can he come out of retirement, score some goals, and then go back to retirement again? Can he do that?
I don't know. If he's listed as a player on the squad, he might come on.
No.
Which would be interesting to see if he can. I'm just trying to think. No. Al-Hilal, though, how many Champions Leagues have they won now? Have they won any?
I think they've won twice. The championship era they've won twice. So but the championship ones, I suppose, does it count?
I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Like, oh yeah, of course. How many of Real Madrid's trophies are in the 50s out of the 12? I'm like, man, what the fuck? That's because the competition was smaller at the time. Oh yeah, so you the same thing applies to us. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so Al-Hilal, this would put them on.
Let's see what Wikipedia
3 as well. Ponghang Steelers, isn't it? That's won the 3 as well. So there'd be. Yeah, so this will be the first time Al-Hilal would win it in 20 years if they win.
But to be honest with you, I would. Yeah, I think they kind of deserve to win after going to the final twice and losing because of bad officiation. I would sort of understand how. I would let them off, basically. Let them off the hook. Let them have a title that they deserve to have. Of course, I think that's not too much to. But they still have to go and face the east side, and you never know with those guys. I mean, Guangzhou, going back to them, they're usually good, but on the semi final they're just turned off, switched off. But we know they are better than that. So it was
What do
just
you
a matter
think
of
of
what you're gonna get.
mixing it up? Because correct me if I'm mistaken, but it's pretty much always been the way where you end up with East versus West in the final only, right?
Yeah, that's how AFC um, schedules the matches because clubs complained about time zone differences. For example, if you want to play group match games and you have to go all the way to Japan and there's like 8 hour difference, whatever. It's just hard to do it. So they came up with this system where there's East. But I get what you're saying. I think instead of mixing the two different zones in the final, they should do that earlier, like in the semi-final. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, quarterfinal. That's what I was thinking because it'd be interesting to see that sort of thing happen. I mean, and I will say that's probably something that makes UEFA Champions League quite interesting. Is it you end up with not recently, but like the Manchester United Chelsea semi-finals that
Yeah.
you used to get, or the potential for Liverpool Tottenham from the same country in a final, like that sort of thing. So I think that would be interesting because had the games gone down differently, you could have ended up with a sort of outside Al-Hilal final.
That would be
So
fucking cool, yeah. I would say just
yeah,
mix it
so
up in the draw. Like you can still end up with West, West, East, East, but in the draw, knowing that you can end up with either three of the clubs, it would be cool. You know,
yeah.
anything. So
Yeah, so maybe that's something for the future. So if anyone from
AFC, yeah.
AFC Club is watching this, give it a go next year. Right.
All right.
Let's wrap up the Champions League and let's move on to what on earth is happening with Persepolis.